This is one other prototype we have here. This is an YETI game. Our working name for the prototype is Fury of the YETI, and it portrays a number of climbers trying to get as high, to get their flags as high as possible in the mountains. And in this game, the players will win if they score victory points after several actions, several rounds. It's a game for 2 to 5 players. We have here the board set up for 4 players. It takes around 15 minutes per player to a match to end. These prisms we have to portray our map and our mountain. They are set up randomly. Players can choose create their own setup if they so wish. There's no need for it to be in a specific form. The goal of the game, as I said before, is to gather as much victory points as possible. There are 2 main ways to gather up victory points that are basically planting flags on the mountain. The higher you plant your flag, the more victory points you earn for it. And acquiring these cards, this number here are victory points for each of these cards. They also have special effects that we'll explain further in this demonstration. The course of the gameplay, after a first player is decided for the game, that player picks up these yellow dice here. These are prototype, mind you. And they get to roll these dice. These will determine what actions are possible for that player. Player gets 1 roll and 1 re-roll. So you roll this set twice. Anytime you roll a face with the YETI symbol, which is this the little guy there, you move this marker up. This will be used at the end of the round to indicate how many spaces the YETI will move and mess up with the player's ideas. Any face with this symbol is used to move your climber. So in this case, if I were playing the red climber, I would get a movement point for each dice, for each die, showing that little footprint. The flag symbol is also easily understood. Is to plant a flag in a space currently occupied by your climber, and these hexagon symbols 1 and 2 are used to plant a flag anywhere at the level 1 of the mountain, which is this lighter and the smallest, or level 2, which would be these hexagons here. To plant a free flag on anywhere in the mountains in these first 2 levels, you must have a twin set of these dice to allow you to perform that action. So I'll show you an example of a roll here. If I roll these, that would mean that I could plant 2 flags with my climber, the red climber, and I could, if I wish, plant a flag in any space at level 1. For me, it's not interesting to have these because the YETI symbol, they move up the YETI marker, but they also allow you to get these powerful cards. If I roll at least 2 YETIs, I can get one of these available cards here or from this pile. So I'll re-roll these dice. With this set of dice, I must perform these actions if possible. I cannot move my climber, and in our current rules, you cannot have more than 1 flag of your kind per hexagon. So I would only be able to put a flag on my current space, which would give me nothing, or plant a flag in any level 2 space. Anytime I plant a flag in one of these symbols here, I check to see if these symbols are on the available cards. For instance, I could plant this flag here in this symbol to get these cards. I would gain the effect of these cards. Or I could choose to plant my flag here on the 10th symbol and get either one of these cards. So basically there are two ways that you can get these cards. If you get the right amount of YETI symbols, you can get the cards listed here. And after you roll the dice, if you plant flags in the mountains which have symbols equal to the cards in the available cards for your round, you get to add these cards and perform these actions, which are varied. They may allow you to, like this card here, allow you to move your flag one level for the mountains. The movement rules are also very easily. Each movement point allows you to move one level of the mountain or one adjacent hexagon. So to get this is level 1, 2, and 4. So to get from here to here, from level 2 to 4, I would spend 2 movement points to reach this place if I so wanted. After everybody has rolled and got a chance to move and perform these actions, this YETI bar will generally be at some level here, which will, each of these red dots will indicate how many spaces the YETI will move. The YETI has numbers in its base which indicates which direction he will choose. Suppose we have this set up here, so you could understand. As you can see, I can multiple climbers can have a flag in the same space, but I cannot have any climber cannot have more than one flag in each space. And after everybody has played their turn, I roll the YETI dice to see which direction the YETI will go. This marker here will indicate how many spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces for the YETI if the bar were here. And suppose I rolled a 4, so he would get right up. He would move right in front of him. In that case, at every space the YETI enters, if there are flags in that space, that flags must now be planted in a lower space. In this case, those players would probably choose to go here. Down level. If he enters a space containing one of our climbers, that climbers must also go down a level. If the YETI would leave the mountain, he instead goes clockwise and moves his many movements. In this case, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this climber would get off the mountain. For this game, since the three-dimensional part of it, aspect of it, is very important, we use the box of the game, the cover of the game, to allow the players to move the mountain and see it from all directions as needed. When you get one of these cards